Welcome, 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 everyone, to 2021. Season 4 has begun, and we have skipped Season 3. Welcome, everyone, to another year of adventures into reality. For those of you that want to know what today's show is about, it is an open call-in show. So for those of you who want to have a conversation with me, anything from political subjects, secret space program, galactic history readings, Akashic Records, artificial intelligence, or whatever, I do ask that there be no moaners, complainers, whinums, or victims today. If you are a moaner, complainer, whiner, a victim, I'm not going to give you what you want because you're a moaner, complainer, whiner, and victim. I will turn the fire on to the very hottest of hot seats for moaners, complainers, whiners, and victims. If you are a moaner, complainer, whiner, or victim, 2021 is not the year for you. Grow up. Get over it. If you haven't done the inner work already, moaning, complaining, whining, and victimhood will only make your 2021 so bad that you're going to want to crawl back in the hole and be a sleeper again. Trump will not save you. Q will not save you, and don't trust the plan. Make your own plan. Be a sovereign being. Don't be a victim to the propaganda that is out there. So, everyone, we've had a very unique lockdown and New Year's. It did not feel like Christmas over here. Normally, we have a big family get-together, 20 plus people usually, and weren't able to do it this year because we were in stage 4 lockdown where we're at over here. So it didn't feel like Christmas. It didn't feel like New Year's. And then we had this garbage of yesterday, the invasion of the American Capitol, the incitement of insurrection, and the flaming talking heads declaring whatever the garbage they want to declare about. There is no truth in mainstream media. And for those of you who are looking for truth in mainstream media, you are victims, and the victimizer is the mainstream media. But there are clues to understand, words to understand coming from the mainstream media. Now, generally, people who are listening to these types of shows that I do already understand the mainstream media is garbage and look for those particular clues. So if people want to ask me about mainstream media clues, things that are going to be coming in 2021, last year in early January and February, I did a whole bunch of stuff that actually came true throughout the year. Those of you that went and got Galactic History 2.0, which is available in the store right now. If you go to andrewbartzis.com, click on the store tab, you can get Galactic History 2.0 and hear the 40 plus hours of interviews that I did in January and February of 2021 before the lockdown even came, which gave you all the predictions and all the things that were going to happen 2 more weeks and 2 more weeks and 2 more weeks of lockdown until it's never ending. Now, a lot of people are going to ask me, when's it going to end? End of 2023. Yes, end of 2023. All of 2021, all of 2022, and 3/4 of 2023 will still be in lockdown. Pretty much the warp speed vaccine, they've only put out 2 million of the 40 million of doses, and more than half of the medical professionals are refusing the vaccinations. And for good reason. It's an unknown variable that they're not going to take the risk on their own life. But we have to understand, as the vaccinations roll out and people get more and more sick, but the death rate doesn't change. Now, on this show, I don't talk much because they tend to ban channels and ban videos and demonetize the channel. And I've worked long and hard to keep this channel the way it is and not get banned. So there'll be other places and spaces in which I talk about that stuff. But in generality, I'm not going to bring up that stuff because YouTube will kill this channel. They've killed other channels for way less. I give you my opinion, though, which is 2020, well into 2023. That means all of you have the next 2 3/4 years to practice your daily practice, to do revocations, to do ceremony and ritual, so you can become good at it. And for all you whiners, complainers, moaners, and victims, 2.5 more years, me. If you're going to whine and complain and be victims for 2.5 more years, guess what? You will not be a part of the awakening. Okay? Your choice now. So, for all those people who have raised their hand, oh my God, we got a lot of people who've already raised their hand. So right now, I'm going to remind you, if you're a whiner, complainer, victim, or victim, moaner, whiner, victim, don't be raising that hand. So, Robert, spin up the wheel of positive callers and see who our first caller of 2021 is going to be.
All righty. A lot of people raising their hands early. I got a little sign for that, and I'll put it up next time. Don Eglitis.
Don Eglitis, are you there?
I am.
Hi, where are you calling from?
Burlington, Ontario.
Wellington, Ontario. Welcome to the show, first caller of the year.
Yay!
How long you been listening for?
Oh, about 3 years.
Welcome. What did you want to talk about today?
Well, I got this thing about Joe Biden getting in. I kept seeing back in December that he wasn't going to be sworn in on January 20th for some reason. Now I'm not sure. What's that about?
You were all fooled by the plan, taken by a psyop.
Okay.
Trump was never going to get a second term.
No, I knew that, but I just didn't see Biden signing. I don't know if he was going to have an accident. I didn't see Trump getting in either.
Are you familiar with what's the term self-fulfilling prophecy?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the term apophanesis?
No.
Which is seeing patterns that are not there.
Okay.
It's an ancient Greek word in which conspiracy theorists from the ancient days would see patterns that no one else can see. And there's a fine line between crazy and genius. And apophanesis is one of those situations where crazy is crazy. And people were flooding the world with information. So if you only looked at Facebook twice a week but scrolled through the stuff, your eyes were subliminally programmed to a dozen or 3 dozen different potentialities. Okay. That's the nature of the social engineering machine we've got going.
Okay. No, I do see him signing in now. So I just didn't know what happened back in December, whether it was a timeline collapse or what happened.
No, there was no timeline collapse. People ask me that all the time. There was no timeline change. There was no timeline collapse. We are still on track for the Great Awakening on this timeline. Are they trying to pull individual people all of this off this timeline? Yes, but that's not a timeline. That's just shaking the Etch-a-Sketch. And if you're not a grounded, shaped, unique person with a spiritual development, you fall victim to the Etch-a-Sketch getting shaped.
Okay.
It may take you a day or two to get back to the normal timeline, but it still confuses you and makes you have this ideology that these other things are real. But in fact, on this timeline, they're not.
Okay, that's cool. Interesting. Can you tell me a little bit about my galactic history?
Maybe.
Please.
Okay. Tell me a little about yourself so I can tune into you.
Okay. I've been on this planet for many years, many lifetimes. I know that. I am a psychic and a medium. And I've talked to you back in June 22nd, 2019. That was the first time we talked.
What did we talk about then?
Getting a website up, which I have done. Talked about the solstice at that time, and it was pretty powerful.
Did you do ritual and ceremony?
I did.
How did it turn out for you?
Really good.
What was the big thing you experienced?
I actually did it with some shamans in the middle of a Times Square, or in the middle of a square in Toronto, and it was really powerful. I saw a shift, and I felt a lot of joy at the same time.
So how does being a medium work for you?
It's awesome because I'm able to connect into souls, whether they're dead or not, actually. It's a soul is a soul. and I can connect into anyone live or dead. And, in fact, I did a couple of readings today, and one was very much alive, but I got her soul, her higher self, telling me what she needed to talk to my client about.
Okay. I'm going to push the session with you a little bit. You have the
Sure.
ability. I feel you have the ability. So I'm going to give you a sample for you to tune into.
Okay.
Atlantis,
Yeah.
29,412 years ago.
Okay.
You're a female. You would be
Yeah.
equivalent of where Florida is, even though the oceans are 300 feet lower than they are today.
Yeah.
And you're a farmer, but you're a
Okay.
scientific farmer. Tune into that woman. She's trying to speak to you right now.
Okay.
And then share with the audience what you feel through your medium experience.
I'm hearing sacred geometry is involved in the farming.
Absolutely. Keep going. Just allow yourself to flow a little bit.
Okay.
She has a specific message that's for you, but for the same for the audience and whole too.
Okay. She's talking about honoring the earth and honoring the grounding of the like she's showing me the soil, and it's in my hands, and how it compacts and then falls through my hands, and the importance of water and the crystals within the crystals and the holding the energy of the water and being I'm getting a lot of goosebumps on this.
Yes.
Because
she has a dirt recipe for you.
Okay, that's cool. I can see that.
Okay. Are you a gardener?
I am.
So connecting to her, you will be able to make a dirt formula and recipe that will be extremely beneficial to the future of humanity.
Okay.
All right. Now that we've done this first test, let's go a little farther back.
Okay.
2,633,000 years ago.
Okay.
You're living in Atlantis, but you're living in roughly where the Moscow, Russia would be.
Okay.
And I want you to, I'm not going to give you much hint other than the date. I want you to tune into this figure.
Well, the first thing that came was amber, and I just kept seeing all these crystals there. But I kept seeing the amber.
Are you male or female?
I'm female.
Okay. What is her message to you?
Well, actually, it's funny. I feel female, but I'm in a male body. So I don't know what that means, but that's what I'm getting. So I've got, I'm getting androgyny almost, but I'm not.
Well, you were going through natural sex change then.
Okay.
And it was completely normal part of society then. There came a point where certain lineages needed more females or needed more men, and they would go through a ritual of transference where they would then become more female or more men.
Okay. It's actually quite warm there. I'm feeling quite heated.
Mm-hmm. It's tropical.
Yeah, it is tropical. It's almost like the palm trees are there. So they're, oh, I got goosebumps again.
See how easy it is for you to tune into this stuff?
Yeah, I am. I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's go further back. Let's go 33,207,000 years ago.
Okay.
Okay. Who are you then?
The word I'm hearing is Homo sapien.
Keep going.
I'm one of the first creators. They're telling me that I'm one of the creator race.
Keep going.
Oh.
Keep going. Don't trust yourself.
No, I know.
You do this for clients. Now just trust yourself.
I know. I'm carrying on the creator race. There's a lot of greenery around me. I'm not sure where I am, but it's very lush. That's what I can say. And not a lot of other people around. I am one of the creator races. I just keep hearing that over and over again. I'm ET. I'm Homo sapien, but I've got genetic Palladian background is what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else would you like me to see?
Just allow that being to commune with you through your medium work.
Okay. Yeah, because I see a lot of stars in the sky. It's very black. Lots and lots of stars. More stars then than there are now. So there's been some destroyed. They're telling me that.
Yes. In the galactic
Okay.
history I spoke about when they started erasing planets,
Okay,
billions
that's
of
what I'm seeing.
planets at a time. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
before they erased them.
yeah, exactly. So I'm seeing all the stars, multi dimensions. I'm actually able to see the multi dimensions and multi universes.
You are a star watcher being. Even though
Okay.
you have Pleiadian DNA, you were created as a star watcher. So allow yourself that being to
Yep.
watch the stars and travel to a star. So this
Okay.
is 2 degrees of separation, using your psychic skill to tune into who you were and
Yeah.
allowing the psychic skill of that being to take you to another star.
Oh, this one's far, far, far away. It's like on the other side. It's beyond the beyond. It's just like I'm being zoomed there at lightning speed.
Yep, superluminal.
Yeah. It's just like, it's like Star Trek and you just go, gone.
Yep, poof.
Yeah, that's it. But it's like we're on the other side. It's very, very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, there's a lot of snakes there. I don't know why, but there's snakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The people there have 3 fingers or 3 fingers they're showing me. They're short, they're squat is the word I would use. They're not tall beings, they're very squat. Yeah, and they're brownish gray color. It's hard to describe them. How am I doing so far?
Amazing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want you to greet one of these beings and say
Okay.
who you are from this future. You're
Yeah.
here from the future. Your name and say
Yeah.
what year you're
Okay.
from.
Okay. And they're telepathy because they're talking telepathy with me, and they're like blown away that they've never met somebody like me and from the future, and they're kind of shocked and a little scared. They're kind of going, whoa, what happened here? But at the same time, they're accepting me because they see us as one. We are one.
Yes, we are.
And so they keep saying we are one. So they're shocked, but to see how I have transformed is what they're telling me. Yeah.
And how have you transformed?
Because I have gone through the whole gambit of being separate to now be back to unity.
Exactly. That's
Okay.
how powerful you are.
Okay. Got it. Wow. Cool.
I got some tears in my eyes when you connected to that level.
Yeah, me too. I knew you then.
Yeah, everyone knows me.
No, but
That's my
I
joke.
I know, but I knew you then, is what they're telling me.
Yeah.
This is what the being is telling me, that they knew you then too.
Yeah.
So you've actually visited the same spot, is what they're telling me.
Yeah, I have.
Okay. And they're saying welcome home to you. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And it's a long time coming for you. They're telling me. You need to come back. You need to come back. They're begging you to come back.
A little bit more time, and I'll be there.
I know you will. You have much to give this world, they say. You're leading a lot of people from darkness into the light. Don't stop. They just keep telling me, don't stop.
I won't.
Okay.
It's my dedication in the journey.
I know, and they're honoring you for doing that.
Mm-hmm. These tears are soul tears of connection and joy, just so that people understand.
I understand totally, because I've got them too.
Yeah.
Welcome home and welcome back. Thank you. Wow. Very
Many
good.
more worlds to discover now.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we take humanity back to the stars, and that's my big gift I've given you.
Yeah.
Go back to the stars.
Thank you. Yeah, I will. And I do that. I do that, quite often now. But I will do that more future. Thank you, Andrew.
You're welcome. Thank you for being the amazing first caller.
Oh, thank you.
All right, darling, take it easy. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks, Andrew.
All right.
All right, bye.
All right. All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who our second caller of 2021 is.
Thank you. And Laura Leigh Fleming.
Laura Leigh Fleming, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, where are you calling from today?
I'm just outside Chicago.
Just outside Chicago. What did you think of that last caller?
I thought that was so amazing. I'm a new listener, and I'm so glad that I am here. I love that. I deeply connected with that. Yeah, just
Wonderful.
amazing.
So what did you want to talk about today?
Okay, so of course, what I wanted to talk about is that I recently started having colors and connections, and I too am from the Pleiades.
Mhm.
And I'm wanting to know if you can help me with some information about my galactic history, and that I have been earnestly doing what I'm doing, but I feel like there's more that I could do to connect. I feel there's, I'm kind of like in infancy in that connection.
You're a toddler. You're not an infant.
Okay.
Okay. Let's not underrate yourself. Okay.
Joy of newness. So.
You're at the stage where you're questioning. You're a toddler who's questioning everything. Okay.
Okay.
So tell me about your connection to the Pleiades. How did you discover it?
Well, I mean, I rediscovered it in about 5 years ago when I had this huge light that shows up in my pictures, and it started changing colors. And as I evolve, it changes, and it's huge. People don't even believe that it's true. But I feel it. And then I feel like through sound and through the pictures I take, I'll do meditation, or I will do my best to go into a star. And then I will take a picture as I'm led and feel and see some kind of, I guess they would be like light codes and colors. And I hear sounds. And then I have these pieces of green patches. And I feel like it's like a download, but I don't know yet how to open up that energetic download. So that's why I'm here, and wanting to connect more with that.
Okay.
I feel it's so important for the world.
What was your childhood like?
So my childhood was very dark. It was very abusive.
This is why you can't unpack this information. You shut yourself down to it because of what was going on to you at that young age.
Okay.
What happened in your childhood?
What didn't happen? Yeah, it was a lot of abuse, sexual, mental, emotional abuse. I lived in an area that was just full of pedophiles. When I got older, like you could walk down the street and point at every house where there was a pedophile, and it went on for a long time because of the, when I was younger, people were hiding it and all that stuff. So,
what did you do as a career?
I'm a healer, and I work with children and animals. But my biggest thing I do is I do a lot of mine through service, because I'm raising my 3 kids, and I do that full time. And they're very empathic, and they push me because they're connected to all the stuff that I had no idea about. And I figured I want to be there with them. I don't want them to be alone like I was.
So before your 3 children, what career aspirations did you have?
To be a healer and to be a teacher. I have worked in a lot of different places. I taught metaphysics for a long time, but that was not being paid. So I wanted to learn to bring healing and business together in a way that I could support myself, so I didn't have to just do it on the side.
So you were a spiritual entrepreneur.
Yes.
So I'm gonna push like I did with the last caller.
Okay.
How familiar are you with the Corey Good material?
Oh, I'm not much.
Do you know what the secret space program is?
A little bit.
Do you know what the 20 and back program is?
I don't.
All right. Short answer. At around age 16, you were taken out of your body, brought up onto a ship, and brought into a community of people that were populating the rest of our solar system. And you lived 20 years out there. And they also time traveled you back to 1920, 1930, 1940. And you had a specific job as a linguistics translator and cultural attaché translator at a psychic skill level. And when they were done with you, they put you back into your body as if you have never left, back into the 16-year-old girl, and you continued to live.
God.
When you were 28, they took you back out of your body and put you in another 20 and back program. But this time they sent you to the Sirius star system, where you were part of an ambassador linguistics program, where they were trying to make a more universal language of expression. And you were one of the foundational train the trainers in the new galactic language that was psychic based. When they were done with you then, at age 28, they put you back into your body. So that's 40 years floating back. But then when you were 30, how old are you now?
55.
When you were 30, they put you back into a 40 and back program. But this time they traveled you back to 1913 and kept you in the 1913 era. So every time 1913 would turn to 1914, they time travel you back to the beginning of 1913, specifically for the end of the wizard era, so that the practices and rituals of the wizards that were still trying to hold on to power before technology could be taken over could be understood as the ritual cultural expression, so that you could create a defeating program so the wizards would no longer have power. Okay, and they put you back in your body. So you're now 80 years older than you actually are right now.
Okay.
Okay. And then they put you back into your body, and then they scrambled everything so you wouldn't remember.
Oh, okay.
Now, Pleiades, what is the connection? You traveled there dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of times, and you've had children there. While you were in the 20 and 40 back program, you had children that are in the off-world worlds. That's what's attracting you there.
Okay.
You have twin daughters in the Pleiades on Alcyon. It would be a good idea for you to listen to Corey Good's material.
Okay.
Okay? The Secret Space program, there's a whole bunch of things. You were in a ritual abuse program. Classic.
Wow. It's interesting why I will say this one thing is that, so I recently, what I say to describe what I do is with energy, people that are doing different types of energy and modalities. Like if I could sample someone's work and connect with them, if every energy were a language, I'm a linguist. I say that every day, multiple times throughout the day, and I had chills and tears of joy and recognition with what you just shared.
So light language is something you're going to want to start to explore in 2021.
Okay.
Have you know what light language is?
Yeah, I do. And I, something happened to me. I had someone kind of like spiritually sidetrack me, but in my first light language that I received in the palms of my hand, written in blue, were right after 9/11. I was in Washington, D.C. for a health show. I went to the White House and I was doing Reiki symbols on the White House lawn. And I was doing a type of Tai Chi kind of channeled, but I didn't even know what that was. And two beings drew in blue symbols on my hands. and I didn't know what they were, and I was told they were Reiki, but it didn't feel like Reiki. And then it's just taken me until like about the last year and a half to figure out that it really was light codes.
Well, light language is the actual out loud enunciation, pronunciation of words that are not words. Like I'll give you an example.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Okay. That's a tough translate. I'm actually speaking 36 different versions of
Okay.
light language.
I felt like it was something like, how in the heck
Because
am
I can compress a tremendous amount into one enunciation.
Okay.
And the master learning of light language, you learn how to compress an entire philosophy into a handful of words.
Okay.
Shocker for you?
Yeah, I was not expecting that. And then do you have any recommendations for how I read, besides reading Corey, or is that what I should do, is for furthering this and developing this?
Are you familiar with my advanced heart meditation?
Yes, I just started doing it this week.
So that will be one for you to heavily explore.
Okay.
Especially seeing your face transposed over your heart, and then seeing your heart start out as a sperm and an egg, and then the tongue be created and the clearing of the pericardium.
Okay.
The traumas from your childhood are your limitations now. Even though you think you've gotten through most of them,
exactly,
you were still scrambled by the secret space program.
Okay.
And you've got to reconnect to the linguist in you, the ambassador that's in you. There's a tremendous vocabulary waiting to just be in your field. And the more you're able to connect to that heart and the fetus in your mother's womb, back to that infinite state, the more you will be able to create a healing inside yourself, in the physical blood, in the marrow, and inside your bones.
Okay.
By exercising the will of this unique spirit you to be in the body in full power.
Got it. Yeah.
What happens in the 20 and back program, they break you into 20 or 30 or 40 aspects. You were already broken as a kid. Okay? So it was very easy to put you in 30, 40, and 50 clone bodies and spread you everywhere. And then when they compress you back together and put you back in, they're all separate, with their own compartmental processes of what has access to memories. And you start breaking down the compartmental process by returning to that fetus in the womb stage.
Okay, got it. Because that what I felt and what I had felt the last couple of days is that it's like kind of like I was pixelated. That's kind of how I feel like.
Very good way to put it. Pixelated, fractalized, fractionated.
Okay.
And you got to start uniting the different broken aspects of you. And you do that through that fetal state by bringing those shards back to the fetal state and reincorporating them into this DNA now.
Okay.
Okay. And imprinting into your marrow, deep healing and attraction, and letting go of the negative programming, especially what was done to you as a child.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. And then the next level here, have you done any of the contract revocations?
I just started that too this last week.
Getting familiar with the languaging style.
Okay.
There are a tremendous amount of ways to harvest energy and to input negative concepts into people. As you become linguistically expansive with the contract revocations, you'll see the multidimensional chess moves that are at play, and you can learn to just push them away with a hand swipe as you get good at them.
Excellent.
And that out loud, name it to claim it system, it is about this voice in this body in full power. You are 100% sovereign free will being, and 100% sovereign free will planet, and 100% sovereign free will galaxy, and 100% sovereign free will universe.
Absolutely.
And express those words, be that empowered state. And what you're going to do is you're going to find the house of cards come toppling down, and you're going to get access to memories that are the linguist in you, the ambassador in you, who's got access to the galactic language.
Great.
Okay? And it might be overwhelming for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, it's so important. And I got my kids, and I know they're all connected to this.
Right. Can you draw?
I'm drawing. I don't see that, but I do draw what I see. And I've been really pushed to do it. And so, yes, I do.
Okay. What I'd like for you to do is to get a book on sacred geometry and learn to start drawing sacred geometry with a protractor. You know what a protractor is?
Yeah, I have one right by my computer.
A protractor, a triangle, and I want you to find one that teaches you how to draw sacred geometry.
I do have one. He's on Facebook a lot.
You need to do this at a serious level, though, where it's not somebody teaching you. It's you just sitting down with a protractor and going, can I do a Metatron's cube today? And how many attempts is it going to take to get it right?
Okay.
Because in the repetition of the drawing is going to unlock more light codes for you.
Okay.
Okay?
Right. Yes.
And you might get access to certain encyclopedias and dictionaries.
Okay. Okay, great.
Okay?
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
Well, what did you think?
That's so amazing. I'm going to freak out after I get off here for sure. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And as you get into the Corey Good material, people are like, Corey Good. Corey came onto the scene hot and bothered, got involved with some idiots. So the majority of his work is effective. I may not like his marketing. Okay. I may not like some of the way he does some of his stuff, but he fits into a way of describing the secret space program.
Okay.
What I described to you is somebody who has taken and multidimensionally traveled around the galaxy and the universe. That is what happened to you, because when you were young, you were already in an abuse scenario, and being a part of an abuse ring is where they pick super soldiers from.
Okay.
Okay. And you are one of them. Now, when you begin to try to integrate this on a bigger level, understand you chose to be a healer long ago.
Okay.
And the journey of whatever they did to you as an abuse in a child or abuse in the program is your sovereign free will to heal. And they can't stop you.
Okay.
Your freight train of healing started moving a long time ago. Just add some steam to it.
Okay, great.
All right, darling. Thanks a lot for calling in.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who's next.
Okay, BX, you're getting a signal to unmute.
BX, Are you there? Hi, where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm calling from Alaska.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What did you want to talk about today?
I was wondering if you could possibly give me my galactic history reading.
Yeah, but you called in last month, darling. You've called in like 3 months in a row, and you're just changing your name.
I didn't want to give my real name.
I know, but you can't keep doing that every month. All right, Robert. That's sorry, darling. You got to wait. I've done like 3 readings in a row for you. That's a little abusive. Okay. All right, Robert. Let's switch up callers.
All right, Dimitar, signal to unmute.
Dimitar, are you there?
Hello there. Are you able to hear me?
Hi. Yes, I am. Where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Bulgaria.
Welcome to the show from Bulgaria. What did you want to talk about today?
I'm on wave with the theme of these out-of-body stuff, but I'm more interested to talk about some of my blocks regarding out-of-body and some issues regarding reptilians and grays constantly.
Okay. What do you want to know about them?
Okay, so basically I can give you a little bit of background so you can tune in if it helps you.
Sure, background always helps.
Okay, so I'm a deep shadow worker, very inspired and resonate with Teal's material, as maybe you would feel. I usually utilize a lot of frequencies and vibrations, and the issue is that every single time I go out of body, because I have this knowing that I can do it and it does happen, I have this gigantic either fear or invasive thoughts that I always trace back to trauma that needs to be integrated from whatever type of childhood period or whatever type of, core belief that may be negative and whatnot. But there always seems to be some kind of mismatch that just doesn't happen.
Do you have skin issues?
Skin issues sometimes.
Like what kind of skin issues?
I used to have when I went to the gym, I had this I don't know. I remember how it was called, but it was like a slight infection that I had to clean because of sweating.
Did it swell up and turn red?
Usually it doesn't. Sometimes they swell and become red, but not that often.
All right. So
I do have contact dermatitis. Sorry for interrupting you.
It's very important. So what's happening when you're leaving your body, there is some type of frequency residue affecting your gallbladder.
Okay.
So in Chinese acupuncture and the ideology of traditional Chinese medicine, gallbladder is related to the skin. And skin is very, very important to the human body when you begin to travel out of body. So if there's residue on the skin, something like what can be an infection or skin conditions can prevent you from going because there's a taint that something is marking you with. Think of it like a wolf marking its territory, and you've been marked.
Yeah, because I'm one of those annoying people that continually triggers people to integrate their shadow, and I get attacked sometimes.
But
very often.
You shouldn't be doing that though.
It just happens naturally.
No. You've done that out of over practicing with the shadow work.
Oh my God, it's so over practiced.
And this is a little bit of a knock on Teal. There are too many people that are doing shadow work but don't do the light work. And you've gone.
I started doing it recently. Sorry.
It's not long enough. You need to big balance this out.
It's weak. I'm being honest. It's just weak because
that's why you get scared every time you go out of your body. You can't produce enough light when you go out of your own body.
Yeah, it's difficult. Thank you for illuminating me on that. And if it's possible, I can ask you the second question.
So real quick, have you ever done a gallbladder cleanse?
I've heard of cleanses regarding liver, but I haven't heard about gallbladder.
You can go and find gallbladder cleanses at the local drugstores or online.
Okay.
And what you're going to discover is you're going to have a full-on gallbladder flush, and you're going to let go some what's going to look like micro raisins in your poop. Little black spots. That's what's going to happen. You've got a tremendous amount of junk stuck in your gallbladder, and it'll go a long way of helping you alchemize this taint that's on you. But I'm going to give you fair thing. Your pendulum has gone so far into the shadow work. Your pendulum can't even go to the other side of light work.
Yeah, it's difficult sometimes.
No, it's over practice. You're like a Popeye with giant arms and tiny legs.
Yeah.
So you need to balance your practice. Mm-hmm. So you need to hang up the shadow work for a while and work on the light side.
Yes, I agree with you. I've been doing it lately, and I do confirm that whatever you're talking about, the residue is coming out almost regularly, depending on the food I eat as well.
Right. So it'd be a good idea, like I said, to do the gallbladder cleanse. And then when it comes to superfoods, blue-green algae will be very good for you. Mm-hmm. And then probably taking some other kind of iodine supplement.
Okay, iodine is what you suggest.
Iodine drops, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And may I ask the other part?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. It is related to basically, the stuckness that's already in my frequency, right? Mm-hmm. That I cannot access this infinite information that I need to get through some kind of trauma related to, I don't know, fear of dying, whatever, that may be from a physical standpoint. Since I have this knowledge of whenever source asks the question, what am I have this kind of knowledge that traces back that I can always get to, but I don't understand clearly which race should I identify with, and because I feel like
don't identify with any race. As soon as you need to identify with a race, you've already lost source's wisdom for you.
I understand. So
you're in tens of millions of races.
That's what I feel all the time, and it feels crazy to be able to identify because every single person's like, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm like, I can be everything, but I don't know how to be like.
And that's because the age of your soul. And when you came here, you were already well experienced in IM, different forms of IM technology. And you came here to master this form of IM technology, which is the human DNA skin suit, which you could experience simultaneous 50 colors of time.
Yeah, 50 colors. That sounds very, very, very nice. Okay. One last thing is regarding light work and DNA heal, do you suggest binaurals?
In your
Binaural beat?
state, binaural is not going to help. You've got to get to the basics of personal light generation.
I see. Okay.
So ritual and ceremony, where your physical body and all of your chakras are a part of you raising your vibration and frequency. So your light goes beyond your skin. Right now, your aura is very dim because you've done so much shadow work.
The thing that scares me a little bit is that whenever I try to do that intense light work, there is going to be some form of part of me that isn't completely ready to do it, and I get this huge hit back in my stomach or somewhere else. That's
It's
like
because you've been battling the shadow for so long.
You would say battle? Is that
you've been battling your shadow for so long, you don't know what it is to be a normal natural light being. And the nature of the shadow, once you engage in it, technically you've already lost.
Can you rephrase that?
No, technically you've already lost. Once you engage the shadow, you've already lost. You're creating a shadow in your light. But the whole point of doing shadow work is once you get really advanced in your own light production, you enter the shadow space and begin producing light to expose the shadow. So the shadow returns to its natural process inside the sympathetic and parasympathetic as generated programs from our DNA as teacher spirits.
I understand what you're saying from the energy that you're emitting. That state happens after, if it's this type of difficult trauma to heal, it happens after 2 or 3 times. I'm able to focus with objective view over the fear, if you get what I mean.
Yes, and if the more ritual and ceremony of generating light, the more that will disappear, and you won't be a Popeye with pencil legs anymore. You'll be you'll be a rounded body with spiritual muscles all over.
Okay, so you're saying light work, and you said algae, iodine, and is there any other plant? Because I'm a plant person.
It would be a very good idea for you to get a neck pouch or a body pouch and buy seeds that you know you can plant this spring. So between the rest of this winter, you have those seeds on your body that share all of the work that you're going to be doing. And then do a spring planting of all those seeds that are on your body.
And any color specifically?
It doesn't matter what they are. Obviously, anything that creates fruit or you can eat is beautiful. For every seed that sprouts that has shared rituals and ceremonies and dream space, etc., is going to be a teacher spirit in the physical and dreaming world for you.
Okay, and can I hint one last thing and I'll leave you?
Sure. No, you're a cool caller. Keep going.
Okay, thank you. There was one thing regarding ET contact. I was very interested in it because I get poked a lot from light beings recently, a lot, to be like, hey, wake up, everything's fine, because I'm gonna die, the kind of fear. Because I had there was one night in my childhood in which I felt this spacecraft hovering over our the place I was living in, and I died of fear because I was constantly looking at movies about the Greys and what they do, and I was a child and I was getting too sucked into it, and I jumped out of fear and ran towards my mother, but she beat me to sleep, and I heard how the spacecraft just flew away. And during that night, I dreamt of that spacecraft leaving me on the rooftop for some reason. I really need, quote unquote, some kind of explanation about this.
Somebody didn't hit the teleport you back into the bed button. Like it's a fat finger on a trade desk. That was an ET oops.
Oh, do they hate me that much?
No. You're misinterpreting it all as from a child perspective, and the fear has skewed the perception of what was going on. They're actually trying to help you upgrade your DNA and go through a positive awakening at a young childhood.
Okay, I got that version as well, but I'm happy that you confirmed it because, my head would battle it.
Right. So they poke you. Have you learned how to poke them back?
Oh, usually with intention, with some form of asking for help for the light beings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Poke one now.
Okay.
See if they respond. To see if they want to have a conversation between you and me and them.
Well, what I'm seeing is a blue collective of Arcturians.
Mm-hmm.
They're like there's this funky vibe, challenging vibe-ish sort of.
Keep going. Keep going.
They usually like to make jokes with me because they love jokes.
Mm-hmm.
They're just saying that we're watermelons.
Yes, we are watermelons.
No, they're saying they're giving like some form of advice that say like I should focus on Blu-ray healing or like blue calming stuff. They're saying like everything is going to be fine, and the message that you're wanting to say is that protection and safety may be the next mental space that I should be in, if it makes sense to you.
Yes, but to achieve that space of peace, you have to create a piece of peace inside yourself.
Yeah, they said you're gonna get wrecked before that.
It's because you're doing too much shadow work.
Yeah, and also Pleiadians came in. We're doing
Mhm.
too much work. Yeah, my body's getting overflooded.
Yes, pencil legs
Yes, even
and Popeye
purple.
arms. Yeah, pencil leg, Popeye arms, and no waist muscles.
Yeah. But regardless of it, they enjoy the shadow work part a lot because they love learning what I get out of it.
Great. You've done enough now. You just got to train the rest of the body, and then you'll be a far more balanced being. You haven't lost anything by doing the shadow work. You just got the other side of the pendulum to explore.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult because I cannot find the right type of material, so to speak. I have to create it myself, so to speak, light work wise.
I have a dozen revocations, contract revocations. Have you done the Union and Communion Consciousness Strike?
I did explore all of your material in terms of writing, but I really do have to.
You got to do the out loud, name it to claim it system. You got to speak them out in an empowered state.
I love doing the cleanses more that you suggested. I'm having sometimes difficulty with the revocations because I have a difficult relationship with for the moment with saying and repeating things that sound to me a little bit ritualistic, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. But that's your own fear that
yes,
you've created.
And
that fear is your limitation into the light work because you've done so much shadow work and engaging in the space of the shadow.
Rip.
Rip.
Oh my gosh, there are even reptilians and greys. But I don't know if I should say this. Should I say this?
Yeah, what is it?
Okay, there are also draconians, other beings. Yeah, it's this typical mix of things that happens with me.
Okay, what you got to do is now create an energetic space where the good ones are there and the bad ones don't have access.
Oh God, you know what? One conflicting thought is, well, I want to hold objective perspective, and then I'm saying, well, it's gonna screw me over, isn't it?
How is an objective perspective going to screw you over?
Because my emotional body cannot. It feels like it cannot contain the truth
because it's not producing enough light to keep your soul and your body to be objective. Yeah. Once again, your light production isn't there.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What is your diet like?
Plant food only.
Do you know what's coming next from me?
No.
What's your protein?
My protein, seeds, tofus, nutritional yeasts. I don't know.
Do you get 40 grams of protein every day?
Not all the time, no.
Then you are gonna have a very difficult time producing light.
Okay, so it depends on the protein?
You are a body that is meant to be eating. Unfortunately, people create an ideology about vegetarian and vegetarianism that becomes a philosophy of bad practice. If you're not getting 40 grams of protein and you're doing all this spiritual work, you are eating muscle before you're producing stuff.
Yeah, it is
And it's
intense.
a vicious cycle that will only create body-based depression and lack of light production.
Well, you can imagine 12 hours of deep, intensive shadow work and core belief changes how it affects me in 4 days, basically. It's like I'm burnt out, but I need to sleep with like.
But if you had food, you would have done it a lot faster, and you wouldn't even have done 12-hour mega journeys like that. So you have tortured yourself because of an ideology and philosophy.
Mhm.
I'm not telling you to eat meat. I'm telling you to become a better vegetarian. Right now, you're a shitty vegetarian.
I'm listening. I
Okay?
am shitty because I'm not paying attention to it. Yeah.
And as long as you're not paying attention to it, it is pure self-destruction.
Mhm. Oh, the Watchers came in. Sorry for interrupting you. There are
So
like
let's
yeah.
channel your negative vegan in you
The
that
negative
doesn't
vegan.
want you to grow. The shitty vegan who knows if you start eating real proteins and get over an ideology and philosophy that you will be able to be a far more powerful being than you have ever imagined.
Yeah, I should. Yes, it's just a better routine that I have to create.
It isn't routine. Don't break it down to mathematics. It's fucking choice. And you are choosing to degrade yourself by not eating properly.
Could you explain it a little bit further?
Eat more food, eat more protein.
Okay,
if you want to follow an ideology, don't be a shitty vegetarian. Buy the food you need, eat the food you need, and measure your fucking protein.
Oh, you mean that? Okay, I get it.
Yeah. Or you will not succeed at light production. Period. Without protein, pure fuel, you will not do it. I'll give you another thing. Your gut genome is so out of a line right now that you're not actually processing the majority of the vegetables you eat.
Okay, interesting.
Okay? And this is something that happens with bad vegans. Your gut genomes, the microorganisms that break down food, become very limited. You don't have millions of different versions. You have only a few thousand different versions to break the shit down that you regularly, repetitively eat without alternatives.
I do have a pattern of eating sometimes more of the same food.
You need variety. And I'm not telling you to eat meat. I'm telling you to become a smart, educated vegetarian.
No, I'm not listening to you as if I should eat meat. I research all the time veganism. It's just that I wanted to explain that I'm not doing it because my routine got screwed up from specific emotional patterns. But if you know.
But those emotional patterns were self-destructive, and the shadow has already, like I said, the shadow already won. You may have been shadow boxing and beating the shit out of it for 40 rounds, but guess what? You don't have the protein to last, and it out endures you.
What do you mean boxing it specifically?
You ever heard the term shadow boxing?
No. Sorry.
If you're familiar with the sport boxing, so what you do is you go into a ring and they put a light up and then you punch like this and you look at your shadow on the ground and you box your shadow. Okay? You learn how to fight. You literally learn how to fight yourself. It's a boxing technique. Now, you have been going a boxing match with your own inner shadow. That is the deep shadow work you've done. You're going 42-minute rounds with it. But the point is, once you engaged at boxing the shadow and didn't have the protein, that's how it beat you. And you allowed your emotional instabilities to not allow you to be at the right levels of protein. And if you had the right levels of protein, your experience would have been radically different.
Regarding the protein, I agree, but I don't understand why would I be fighting the shadow instead of integrating it? I don't know if I'm misunderstanding you.
So whenever you enter to do shadow space, you are battling it until you learn how to integrate it. You don't just pop into shadow space and instantly integrate. No, because shadow is going to reject you and start affecting you with the sympathetic and parasympathetic, triggering emotional instabilities when you're not doing the shadow work.
Yeah, but that's very normal to understand for shadow work, right?
No.
Because I don't
You
have
don't
issue
know.
with...
You don't know how your emotional states are altered. When you do it, if you integrate a piece of the shadow, it will fight back and claw back and try to get it another way. This is my issue with Teal. She doesn't teach enough about the light side to create balanced people.
Yeah, I'm missing that, but it's
And if
difficult for
you-
me to understand you
If
completely.
if there was an equal training in the light to the shadow for you, you'd be a radically different person now.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
And right now, the most important thing for you to do is let the shadow work go, begin the light work, and you've got to conquer being a shitty vegan. That's it. You need to buy the right food, have it in the refrigerator. My advice is to you to, instead of having 3 meals a day, switch to 5 meals a day. Your actual volume levels of what you need to master 40 grams of protein is way off, and your gut has shrunk. And it's going to be a challenge for you to start having bigger and bigger and bigger meals.
Well, yeah, I understand. It depends on the mentality, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Your volumes have to increase for the level of protein. I'm going to give you my psychic perception. Right now, you're averaging about 18 grams of protein a day.
Most likely.
Okay, that's near starvation.
Mhm.
That's what they did in people in the Dachau death camps. Okay,
Okay. Well then, thank you so much, Andrew, for your
you're welcome. The shadow has you becoming the shitty vegan. Okay? And just by becoming the good vegan, educated vegan, you will beat the shadow 10,000 times more by producing light.
Okay. Thank you so much for your
You're welcome,
perspective.
brother. You're an
Thank
awesome
you.
caller. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who's next.
That was good. Cameron Mack getting a signal to unmute.
Cameron Mack, are you there?
I'm here.
Hi, where are you calling from today?
San Diego.
San Diego, California. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
What did you want to talk about today?
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It wasn't really Christmas, wasn't really New Year's. We've got a bunch of idiots, extremist idiots storming our capital, and it's 2021. We're still in. But
Yeah.
the spirit world is awful enlightening right now.
Well, I guess the reason I called, or one of the reasons, is I've been getting some, like, for the past year, I've been getting some really heavy shivers when talking to people, or, you know, maybe listening to podcasts or YouTubes or whatever.
Mhm.
I start getting some heavy shivers.
Did the shivers start in your extremities and go inward, or start in inward and go to the extremities?
They would start in my crown. They would start in my crown and go down my spine.
Okay. Is that in general? That, or are there any other types of shivers?
That's in general. There's not
Okay.
many other types of shivers.
Okay. Are there specific types of conversation topics that trigger it?
Oh, it's always spiritual topic. So I guess I've had it going on for a while, like several years, but in the past year, it's gotten kind of ridiculous, and to the point where, like, my head will become numb for like a couple seconds. My crown, from the crown down, my head will become numb. So I guess I'm wondering, like, what's the source of this?
Okay. Let me probe you a little bit. What kind of job do you do?
Right now, I'm not doing much of anything. I'm writing, just because of the COVID thing. But I used to do security.
What kind of security?
Security at a music venue.
Were there regular violent moments you had?
No, it is actually a pretty chill place. So for a security job, bouncer kind of job, it was not violent.
What about voice raising? We're having to get really loud and make your body look good to scare people away.
Yeah, that was necessary sometimes.
How often did that happen?
Um, it's hard to give it an average, but you know,
Once a week?
if I work, 5 days a week, it would happen at least three of the days.
Okay, so just keep that. I'll keep that in mind. So, what are you trying to write about?
Fantasy, sci-fi, urban fantasy.
How much
Usually,
have you actually written page wise?
oh well, I've been at it for 10 years. Page wise, that's a tough one. I have the habit of being in outline mode for a while, and it probably, I would say, 75% of the projects that I started, I did not finish.
So they're stuck in outline mode. They're stuck in outline mode.
Yeah.
All right. So what's going on with you? I'm going to use a visceral explanation for this. Think of a person masturbating and getting to the point where they get to a release but stop. That's what you're doing. You're not allowing yourself to have the psychic release. And because you regularly had to raise your frequency and energy in an aggressive stance at the job, your body, it will go up to your crown chakra, and it's like crown chakra masturbation that turns into crown blue ball. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. You're in a phase where you've got to blow your particular load and just right. Okay. Okay. Get past the masturbation stage and blow a load and write a fucking story. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's mental masturbation for you right now. That's not giving you the success that you want. And the reason your crown chakra is becoming numb is you got all these great fucking ideas, but you just won't fucking do it. You won't stick the head in and go. Okay? I say this to you in this comical format so you can just fucking tackle this shit.
Right.
Okay? You're going to become an amazing writer. You just got to fucking follow through. Okay? You're teasing yourself with this outline. Create a fucking world and write in it.
Right.
You probably have a dozen worlds already that you could use. Writing is that world writing of having the world to write in is the hardest part about fantasy and sci-fi.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like writing about magic, swords, and wizards and shit like that?
Yeah, that's one side of my writing. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
How does the magic in your world work?
I guess, well, the most recent is it's like a take off of cultivation, like qigong and Taoist cultivation and all the kind of mythology behind that. So it has to do with, developing certain energies in the body and then manifesting those energies. I guess. Yeah.
So kind of like a lot of the Hong Kong action movies that are similar genre.
Yeah, kind of. Except more of less of a kung fu fighting and more of a wizardy type of thing.
Okay. So do they shoot lightning bolts out of their ass? Do they do alchemy? How do they practice? How does a wizard become that? That's your first story to write. Pick a name. You call him Bob the Wizard. Okay. And Bob the Wizard, how did he become one? What was his first foray into magic? Who was his first teacher? That's your background. You need a page and a half of background. Okay. And then just start writing dialogue because you already have the fantasy stuck in your crown chakra. Just let it fucking squirt out now on the paper. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly, Danny. The money shot. You need the money shot. Okay. Now, I write fantasy stories also. I like to put a comical twist into a lot of mine, and I developed a magic world where there's two forms of magic. There's the high wizard magic or high lord magic, and then the poor man's version of magic. Okay, so there's two different magics in the world, and the poor man's magic, you basically die when you're 50 or 60, and the high man's magic is when you're in age 20, 25, 30, you get a life extending potion and you could live to 300 or 400 years. Okay. And the longer you're able to practice, the more magic you're able to do. And I broke it into 5 orders of magic. First order is the basic shit, starting a fire, basic offense and defense. Then it gets a little stronger and a little stronger. And then when you reach third order, that's where poor man's magic ends. And poor man's magic will never get past basic bricklaying, mediocre defense and offense. And then the next level is the fourth order, which is somebody who's lived past that 80, 90 year mark and has been practicing for 40 or 50 years. Okay.
Awesome.
And then they learn how to ritualize and create items of magic that help create potency within them. Okay. And then what I created for the dark magic was a different way of gaining youth by draining it from other youthful sources. That's world building. And once you build the world, the characters will flow, man. I'm telling you, they will just flow. Give yourself a target of example like Bob the Wizard. Do 4 pages on Bob the Wizard, just dialogue, him talking to his first teacher, and then make Joe the Ranger, who has a different version of that kind of magic, and then maybe Carol the cunt. The protagonist. Okay? And you literally use shitty ass names in the beginning, because what it will do is annoy the fuck out of you, and then you will create real names. Okay. You could have the Karens of our modern world. You got to make a wizard Karen who always wants to talk to the manager. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
Okay. You have a powerful writing spirit inside you. I want you to know that. Okay. To stop masturbating with it.
Okay.
Spooge on the paper or on a document. All right. You'll do great.
Cool.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Yeah. I also had ideas. I guess my most recent ideas have been around. Are you? What's his name? Yeah, you know Jack Reacher.
Yeah.
So I had ideas about Jack Reacher, except he's like part of the space program, the secret space program, or part of the like a super soldier or something like that. Okay. Problem with that I'm running into is the authenticity. A little bit of authenticity would be nice.
What makes it authentic?
Yeah, I guess I'm not part of those. So,
but you don't need to be a part of those to write about them.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. It's really understanding your villain and protagonist. That is what creates authentic characters in any world. The hardest thing I learned about creating my fun characters, if they didn't have a protagonist, they were just mental masturbation. So I needed a protagonist that was just as good as my fun characters, the ones I loved writing.
Okay.
Okay. Sometimes the protagonist is an environment, a deadly jungle, a haunted deadly jungle. It's got traps and ghosts and shit like that. And that's that's a bigger protagonist versus arch enemy.
So do you mean antagonist?
Antagonist and protagonist. There's a battle between all of them. The villain. Let's get back to the villain, and then the villain's world, which is different than the main world you're growing in. You got to know how the villainy fits into your world that you've built.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Example, in one of the fantasy stories that I created, that was a part of one master world, was they were called the Mummies of the Common Room. And they had reached such a high level of power because they die and they come back to life. But like the movie Mummy and Mummy Returns, they steal living flesh from their cult of followers. Okay?
Mhm,
So if they need an eye, if they come get resurrected from their tomb, they have to have living flesh and blood put back into them so that they can generate their bodies back. Again, it's all about, in that particular world, it was about gaining life force. The older you got, the more potent and practiced wizards you could do. So their particular culture was extremes. And then how the villains of that world would, then there was secondary villains and tertiary villains of the world.
Right.
Okay, so when you world build, you got to know how the villains fit into the socio-political economics of the world. What I did in my world is the bad guys won and the good guys lost. Now the bad guys had the economics of the world to work against them. It used to always be on the good guys to keeping everybody connected and the politics. And once the bad guys won, they had to hold the responsibility of keeping the world economically together. Which was a tremendously draining process on them, which gave the good guys to become the insurrectionists. It was reversing the roles.
Right.
Okay.
All
So
right.
that was the socio-political, magical, economic situation that I created.
Okay.
So you also got to write about your bad guys. That's why I got to do Carol the Cunt. You got to do Carol the Cunt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she's a badass.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I want to do like a Jack Reacher type of thing. Not Jack Reacher the movie, Jack Reacher the novel. The novel. Yeah, that'd be cool.
So the way you start with that is his dialogue.
Right.
So what are the three common themes that are repeated through the Jack Reacher books?
He's on the road.
He's kicking ass.
Yeah, he's kicking ass. He's helping people.
And discovering conspiracy.
Yeah.
So you need to write a Jack on the road scene, which is a super soldier scene, which is instead of driving a car or taking a bus between cities, it's going between planets. Okay. And then helping people, they don't have to be human, do they?
No.
There you go. And then the conspiracy doesn't have to be earthbound. It can be somewhere else.
Right.
But you have to create those worlds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Well, honestly, it won't be a hard writing for you. You've got enough mental masturbation that you've got them already in your head. It's just getting that dialogue down.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, brother. You've been an awesome caller. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks a lot. All right, Robert. Let's take another caller.
Alrighty, Shirley Cooper, signal to unmute.
Shirley Cooper, are you there?
I am.
Hi, where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Hampton Roads, Virginia.
Hampton Roads, Virginia. Welcome to the show. What did you want to talk about today?
Well, thank you. Wow, this whole show this evening has been amazing. I've been listening to you, I guess, for close to a year now.
Wow, welcome.
Thanks. I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot right now, personally. I just feel like there's a lot more for me that I'm not really accessing. I definitely feel a lot of support around me in the spirit realm. And I was just wondering if you had any insight for me.
Well, tell me a little bit about yourself so I can tune into you.
Okay. I'm a mom. My son is 28.
Well,
I'm an artist.
You're technically not a mom anymore.
Right. Well, we actually, a lot of people think we're brother and sister. So there's that. I'm an artist. I make jewelry. I paint. I do wood burning. And I have a 35-year history in the service industry.
What service?
Hospitality, restaurants, management, bars.
Okay. And right now, are you working?
Well, I wasn't. I was simply doing my artwork. February, I opened a local artist co-op, and I had 46 local artists in there. It was like a consignment shop, and it was adorable, and everybody loved it, and it was a hit. And then COVID happened, obviously, and part of our big income was workshops. So those kind of got put on hold. So I closed that, and I've been trying to figure out what I'm doing. I was certified in Usui Reiki back in 2015. And I have done that for clients and for friends. But I felt like I needed to work on myself more. So I kind of put that on the back burner.
What part of yourself needed working on?
Well, I definitely did some inner child work. And I've been doing your revocations. I mean, there's obviously still something there that needs to come to the surface.
Do you know what it is?
I don't. Maybe I do somewhere down deep, but I don't have it right here to say.
Let's try. Let's put you on the spot.
Okay.
The spotlight is on your inner soul. Just let yourself go through an association. What comes up first? Free flow.
Well, I do feel like there was a year of my life that I can't remember. My father passed away when I was 13, and we were super tight. I actually skipped school the day he died, so that was fabulous. And I have a whole year I can't remember from that. I feel like I go back to that on occasion.
Have you finished mourning him?
Recently, I feel like I have come to a better spot in that. I always wore his wedding ring on my thumb, and I took that off. And then I've always kept a picture of him in the bathroom because he would sit on the toilet with the door wide open reading the Mechanics. What's that? Popular Mechanics. So I've always had a photo of him in the bathroom. So I thought that was appropriate. I recently took that down.
Okay.
So I feel like that has gotten better. I just don't know what happened.
Let's move on. Let's let the light shine onto another aspect and allow yourself to just transition to something else. Something you haven't worked on that needs attention.
Maybe abandonment issues, or
that's still relating to losing your father. Keep going.
True. I definitely have struggled with confidence issues for the majority of my life. Just the last couple of years, I've felt better in that sense.
Confidence in your body or confidence in your own spiritual intelligence?
I think confidence in the way I was perceived.
Okay. So you're accepting the projections of others.
Right. When I think back, I don't feel like I do that so much now, but I definitely see where that was an issue before.
Okay. So let's move on to the next subject. Let the light shine somewhere different now.
It's funny. The first thing I told you about me was that I was a mom and my son's 28. So there's definitely, I think, a thing there where probably in the earlier parts of my life, I ended up being a caretaker somehow.
Now you're just avoiding getting at your core issues.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Now you have a very evolved avoidance mechanism at anything past the 2 degrees of your issues, losing your father and self-confidence. Those are
Mhm.
the only things you're allowing yourself to focus on. And you've dealt with the majority of them because you've been over focused on those other two. The avoidance mechanism has grown very strong for you. So I really want you to exert some willpower and go beyond the two common themes that you keep falling back on and say to yourself, what am I avoiding?
I feel like I've been avoiding my own personal success.
How?
Self-sabotaging, letting myself get too low.
Why?
That's a hard, I don't know. Not putting enough effort, maybe.
Why? Why don't you put enough effort? Which comes back to confidence, still in the avoidance mechanism. You exerted a lot of power, you pushed, but it still connects to your avoidance mechanism still stronger here. So summon some more strength and find out what's past the avoidance mechanism.
That I attribute to why I'm not.
What are you avoiding? What are you avoiding in your life?
Gotcha. I don't know. I'm not getting it.
You're a sexual being.
Okay.
What's going on there?
I have a boyfriend.
And
we have a lovely sex life.
Before that?
I was married for 16 years.
And
it was good in the beginning and not so much later.
Which allowed yourself to go into the lack of self-confidence. You didn't have your sexual energies and you were sexually frustrated. You've actually gone past the avoidance mechanism. You have a current boyfriend, but you need some sexual healing on the former self from the former relationship. So it'd be a good idea with this partner to explore new sexual potentialities for yourself, where you can achieve different states of orgasm.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now let's push even further, summon even more strength. You're past the body issues, past the confidence issues, past the sexuality, and say to yourself, what am I avoiding now?
I feel like I've just been avoiding honoring my true self and letting that person come out.
No, you're still
no.
That was a T-ball attempt. Come on, you got to strive stronger than that.
I gotta go up to coach pitch. Gosh.
These are the type of techniques you got to start doing to yourself on a regular basis.
Okay.
Okay, but just try, give it a little bit more effort, and go past it try to get past this next level.
Well, I definitely know that I self-sabotaged from an early age. I used to roller skate semi-professionally, and
that's still self-confidence.
Okay.
That's how evolved. That's how evolved this avoidance mechanism is.
I guess I've also done tried to make myself smaller around people I cared about, so it wouldn't make them feel less. But I mean, I'm very aware of that, and I've kind of made the boundaries on that proper and don't really participate in that anymore. And I'm blowing it, aren't I?
You are. I'm gonna help you. You are a psychic,
right?
And you have been one since a very young age, and you have been avoiding yet beating around the bush of contemplating that I'm a psychic.
Gotcha.
You should be doing it professionally, and you should have been doing it professionally 25 years ago. Okay?
Okay.
Confront I'm a psychic and say that to yourself every day. I could very easily be a professional psychic. I could very easily be doing this as a career. Why the fuck am I not doing it? Self-defeating patterns, get out of my damn way.
Right on. Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There you go. That avoidance mechanism comes back to a very young age where your mother and father didn't understand the words coming out of your mouth.
And my mom has mentioned things to me like that, actually.
Yeah. Which scared you. Which then
Right.
shut your psychic skills down.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, that's amazing. Thank you. I did have one more thing I wanted to run by you if there's time.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So my mother was in a car accident in 1969 where she suffered a lot of brain damage. They were basically picking windshield glass out of her skull. My brother was driving the car. He was 16. I wasn't born yet. She wasn't even pregnant with me. She was not given, basically they told my father, if you get to the hospital, she'll probably be in the morgue. So somehow she was in a coma for a few months. She woke up, unexplained recovery, skull shattered. She's still missing her temple bone. So she came home to recuperate and got pregnant with me. So I got raised by brain damaged mom. My brother got raised by non-brain damaged mom, which is fine. But she told me a story, that she saw the light, while she was in her coma. And it was so inviting and warm. And she just, she wanted to go to it so bad. And it was calling her to come. But she said, no, I have to go back. I have to go back. So I've always wondered if she came back to fulfill her contract to bring me here. And maybe that was why she didn't understand me or didn't really appreciate me, or
She was a walk-in.
Huh. Okay.
So the part of her that couldn't evolve beyond the injury walked out, and the part of her that was left had a very close soul family member walk in and take over the spiritual contracts, which was to give birth to you and to your brother.
Gotcha.
So that you could be a super psychic this lifetime. Because so many other lifetimes, it was not allowed for you. You were born into religious lineages that wouldn't allow it to grow in you.
Yeah, I can feel that. Wow.
Think of how much free, even though you were in the restaurant and hospitality, think of how much free will time you've had to explore different subject matters.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're a special person, and you got to start reminding yourself that every day. And this technique I did with you, try doing it every day and realize what are your three main avoidance mechanisms are. And then you're going to be able to get at some really deep core issues.
Okay, I will definitely do that. Thank you so much.
It's a mind system you can work on that can get certain avoided aspects to come forward.
I get it. It's amazing.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for calling in.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, Robert, let's go for one more caller.
Okie dokie, Lisa B. Oops.
Lisa, are you there?
1 second here, Andrew. I was in the wrong window from my last actions there. Okay, Lisa.
Lisa, are you there?
I'm here.
Hi, where are you calling from?
I'm outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Welcome to the show. What did you think of today's show so far?
Pretty amazing coming back after the break, the holidays, the election, the new year. Yeah, a lot of neat calls, and
so good.
it's amazing the connections that you're helping people make. It's
So
really
thank
cool to
you.
witness.
Thank you. So what did you want to talk about today?
Oh my gosh, there could be so many different things. I want to ask a question. I don't know, that could potentially help the wider audience. I'm grateful that I have an appointment with you in a week, so I'll hold some personal stuff.
Okay.
So I guess the one in the forefront of my mind is some years ago I had a dream. And it was me walking outside, noticing everybody out on the streets looking up to the skies, and they were all just perplexed. And I noticed in the skies a couple different planets that we wouldn't normally see in this lifetime or from here. And a lot more stars, a lot more colors in the sky. And then even like shapes like dolphins and sea life swimming around. And I was walking around and it was cool to me, but everyone else seemed disturbed by it and no one was speaking. And I was walking around asking, what's going on? What's going on? And I was feeling like, oh, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. It's finally happening. But I have no idea what was really actually happening.
When did you have this dream?
Oh, I would say it could be about, 6, 7 years ago. But it was such a out there, profound, amazing dream. And I have had dreams since then with like almost like cloud shapes of dolphins swimming in the sky. And
Could it be
and
possibly? Could it possibly be longer than 6 or 7 years ago? Could it be more
it
like?
could be.
Could it be more like 15 years ago?
No, it wouldn't have been that long ago.
What makes you
for
so,
certain.
what makes you so certain?
Oh, well, time relative to when I had it would have been, I remember telling a group of people, a study group of people that I used to hang out with, and I actually did a graphic design image of it and printed it out and showed it to that group, and that would have been less than 15 years ago.
Okay. So what happened is you've actually dreamed a dream. And you actually had this dream.
I dreamed a dream.
You dreamed a dream. The first time you dreamed it, you were much younger. And the second time you dreamed it, you were older. And that's why you're able to map it out like that. Now, what does dreaming a dream mean?
Okay.
Dreaming a dream means that you've entered a secondary dream state in another celestial space and connected to a version of yourself that was connecting to the Earth dream world at the same time. So you were dreaming in another world and the other world was dreaming inside you.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around it because I've never heard of this.
That's because people don't really understand the dream space, and the few books and shamans are out there, the language is the trouble of it. Now, I've experienced these things, and when worlds share dream space, it's about brothers and sister worlds connecting. Okay. Now, the world that you were on, you said there were other planets in the sky. Were they very close, far away?
Yeah, one was very close, like, like big, like as if Jupiter would be like right.
Did it have
almost like.
Did it have rings?
I seem to recall one had rings, one did not.
Okay, so you were actually seeing Jupiter and Neptune.
Okay.
And you were on the moon Io.
Well, yeah, and I do remember seeing moons too. Okay.
The
moon Io.
The moon Io, yes.
Is that a Jupiter or Neptune?
That's on Jupiter.
Moon. Okay. Okay, so what were all the people looking at, and like they seemed in such disbelief, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
It was the rest of humanity going through the awakening, dreaming themselves over there. Remember, you've already dreamed this dream.
Yeah.
So you were seeing the awakening through the secondary dream state. What's going to happen is people begin to realize how truly one we are. As humanity begins to experience the dream space of other worlds that are here to positively benefit us.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of a mantra of mine that I'm supposed to somehow get out to the world somehow. The I am, you are, we are one.
Yeah, but our language is so limited, and people need experiences to create more language for it now.
Yeah.
And that's why you drew out the experience. You were trying to create the next version of language for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I've done a lot of these graphic design images, and from many, many years ago in my downtime from a job back then. And when I look back on them, sometimes I look at them and sometimes they're almost images. They're like multiverse kind of images. And I almost feel like they're places that I've been in. Yeah, I have all these interesting connections that I'm starting to make and coming into. That's really cool. Thank you for helping me understand that. Can I ask one more question?
Sure, go ahead.
So I have been doing your revocations. It was like I was going through all of them on a monthly basis, but more recently I've been stepping it up. And I really got in deep after doing a couple in a row. And as I was going to close out, it took me even deeper, more powerful than I've ever experienced yet. And the combination feeling of my body felt so magnetically charged, in addition to feeling like light particles in a vacuum, and then also having the extremities with my hands almost in a paralytic state. And for the first time, I allowed myself to have sound come out other than just kind of ohms, and light language started to come out for the first time. And I had the wherewithal to start recording again, because I had been recording the revocations and I had stopped because I was closing out. And then I was like, I got to record this. So I started recording it. And my core was very calm and my breathing was perfect. I was very, everything was perfect, but it got so intense, the most intense yet. So whatever it is you have going through these revocations, it was working something through me. Can you help me describe
you activated macrovolts inside you.
Okay. Boy, it sure felt like it.
You got off the 9-volt battery and you entered the living the macrovolt life. That's your legacy and birthright to be in that state. Now that you know you can do it and practice comes through it, what is it going to take for you to recreate it? Practice.
Well, I've been able to get to these states unknowingly, and after several...
Now you got to do it knowingly with intention and strategy.
Okay. So then maybe next week we're going to have to talk about what kind of intention and what my original intent is here.
It's not about your original intent. It's about the current intent and dedication you're going to put to the practice. Okay. Practice is effort. Effort gives you the amount of effort that you put in it is the amount of effort that it gives back to you. You just achieved an effort state where it showed you the macrovolt living because you had put the effort into the focus state. And the focus state then revealed to you how potent and powerful you can be at any moment by reclaiming your sovereign power to be you inside your body. Now, the next state is learning what to do with it in that moment when it comes on. And that's why the out loud name it to claim it system is so vital at channeling the action, the energy into a strategy of gaining healing, self-nurturing, self-confidence, so that you can re-enter that macrovolt state with little effort.
Yeah. It's very, 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 very powerful. I suppose it's something that my body will get used to, or I'll be able to train.
Yes, you'll train it. It's like exercising. It's like weight training. At the beginning, you may only be able to bench, 100 pounds or 40 pounds, whatever it is. And as you begin training more and more and more, you'll be able to operate longer.
Cool.
See, cool. You're a classic sign of the success that's potential out there. So each and every one of you other people that are lazy and are C+ effort people, look what she's got. Ha, ha, ha. Put some more effort in and you can have these experiences too.
Well, if it's any consolation too, I mean, in short, I was a former, I guess, quote unquote, light worker, but I ended up blowing out in my light worker community what they could even handle. And I didn't realize I could do it. And I had to move on from there. I actually got somewhat kicked out, but then I had to move on from there. And in short, a year later found you, and you triggered me in a way. And I was like that shy little fox in the woods, just curious, poking my head, running away back and forth. I finally made the appointment with you, and And yeah, next week will be an interesting hour with you. I'm excited.
I'm sure we're going to have a blast of a time.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thanks a lot for calling in.
Thank you.
All right. Robert, is Monty there?
Let's see. Monty, are you there? Signal to unmute.
Yes, you can hear there's a lawnmower in the background, so very Australian.
President-elect, how are you doing?
I'm good. My name's Monty. I'm a long-time caller, first-time listener. It's great to be here.
Are people storming your house right now?
No, no. my cat's complaining, but
your cat's your Q crowd right now.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, it's been an interesting 48 hours. I try to go to sleep at midnight. At 3 a.m. I'm like, okay, this is a bit silly. And then I realized, oh, Trump's going to do that speech at the rally in an hour. So I watched that, and I watched all of that, and I have no idea where the whole thing of, oh, he incited violence. It's like, no, you created that he said violence. Because
Monty, you are a closet Trumpistanian. Let's come out of the closet today.
Okay, well,
he absolutely incited violence, and if you can't acknowledge that you are a Trumpistanian.
Oh, okay, then just show me where he said that.
Okay, you didn't actually watch the whole thing or perceive the whole thing. We're coming for you.
Yeah.
Battlefield. That's incitement.
For political. But anyway, let's move on.
No, but that wasn't a political incitement. That was telling his crowd of extremists to do something.
Oh, you mean the paid provocateurs? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, paid or not, doesn't matter. It happened.
Well, yeah, anyway, after that, I watched it all, and yeah, I basically tweeted out, what is it? Dear the United States of America, you're a corrupt shithole. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yes. Now that the mainstream news has been able to use the next level of rhetoric because of the New York ego at a speech that got out of control, they are using words like insurrection and all those other words that they haven't used before, so that they can continue the fact that the election was rigged on both sides. And that we do have a president that's coming in that's going to be a lame duck president.
Oh, yes, lame. Everyone,
yes.
That word again, everyone, lame.
Yes.
Because I'll skip to the end, because we've got a comedy show tomorrow, and we're going to mine this motherfucker.
Absolutely. Okay.
From my personal experience is the energy shifted, obviously, because things happen, but the element of chaos has been removed. Like, and also, I've been waiting just to resolve, because on my roundtable, on the YouTube, I have the titles, and the last one was US election day 64. So now I can actually stop doing that because they've finally finished it. And it's like, just give me, there's two possibilities. No one saw that coming, basically, as well, because I had the show at 2 a.m. Wednesday, and then all this stuff happened 5-6 hours later. I was awake for 20 hours, slept for 3.5 hours, and then was awake for another 10 hours. So in that 36 hours, I had 3 hours sleep and a 20-minute nap. And it was fascinating from an energy point of view, because obviously I'm a watcher. Guess what I do? I had to sort of, I love that joke. Everyone go see Dogma by Kevin Smith. It's quite amusing. And so I obviously, because usually I would be sleeping when all this happened, but I had to actually see it unfold. And the anxiety / chaos energies being lifted. And 2021 is my year to, be a comic warrior, and the memes have already started. I'm for the next 4 years, I'm just going to have so much material for, President Magoo, and just bam and bam. So
for all the orange man bad, white sniffer evil.
Yeah.
And I get the shift. I get the shift that you're going through. That's why I said, just come out of the closet, admit it. You're a full Trumpistanian. There's nothing wrong with it, honestly.
Well, as our normal conversations about this, the whole system's corrupt, and so our options was orange man bad or white sniffer bad, and so I think
white sniffer won. Okay, not black sniffer, not pink sniffer, white sniffer won.
Old white dude sniff guy,
yes.
But I think Trump's done, like, in the collective, and correct me if I'm wrong, he's a catalyst, and his sole mission or contract or whatever in this moment of now is over. And
the fat lady ain't sung yet. He's got a lot more to do before the 20th.
Oh yeah. Well, it's only less than 2 weeks. But I just remembered, I was talking to my mum about it, and I'm going to quote her for the next 6 months. She said, "Oh, it's all bullshit anyway." I'm like, yeah. Basically, that's watching it, and it's interesting to see everyone. Like, it's so funny, weird, whatever, but it leans towards funny. There's a group of people that follow this stuff, believe that they've stopped Hitler. And then there's the other side who believe that Hitler just got in. It's like, oh, he's evil and he's going to destroy the world. And, our favorite, my favorite call-in guy onto my roundtable, we don't have to mention his name, but he's just instantly gone, no, we're all dying. We're all going to be put in camps. And it's like, no.
But that's what they said about Trump. We're all going to die and get put into camps. Each side says the worst about the other side, and it's opposite.
Yeah. And it's basically, the narrative just shifted sides, where it's just that classic thing that the narrative needs to have an enemy so they can distract and control. And
so they can kick the can down the road for 4 more years.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. It's like, it's the worst year of death in the United States history. It's like, no, it's the first time you've reported that, because there's less deaths last year compared to the year before.
Yeah, but facts don't matter. Come on. We're believing in alternate facts here.
It's all about narrative. And so I can see, like, the memes. I just got sent a lovely meme, Danny from the Unfuckers. Basically, the memes, the glorious memes. And the meme is, it's like the fall of the Roman Empire, but with Wi-Fi.
Good way to put it. Follow the Roman number, but with Wi-Fi.
Yeah. And it's going to be a lot of fun from my perspective. The energy sort of lifted. I can feel the change where I know it's not numerology, but there's the perception by changing the calendar, we've moved into a new year, and it's that free choice of creation, if that makes sense, where it's 21 now and we can forget 20, even though that time's an illusion, lunchtime doubly so. But I could feel that change collectively. It's like, well, this is new year, and you have the full moon and everything else like that. I've actually bought another monitor, so I feel like I'm flying the Enterprise at the moment. So I've got space, and I'm ready to hit the ground running, and it's going to be fun, basically, because Congress has pointed out that they suck even more. A lot of things have unfolded, and I'm going to have fun putting people down, because I'm so over Orange Man bad. And it's like, you're bringing up the past, like, unless Trump does, well, like we've talked about, he may actually go on tour like Led Zeppelin and do stand-up comedy for 4 hours.
As I said before, there's still 13, 14 days left.
Oh, yeah. That's the next.
And until Trump finds a scapegoat, we don't know what the fuck's going to go on.
No.
Right now, he's trying to make Pence the scapegoat. And Pence Pence doesn't have the strength to do an Article 25, which is to get the cabinet to remove him from office. Yeah. So Pelosi is going to do another impeachment and removal.
So basically, more distraction and fluff. Where the energy. I think here's a question for you.
Beginning of season 4.
Yeah,
we've just had a big actor change.
Yeah.
No more Mitch McConnell. Okay.
So well, that was what I was saying, that so season 4 has started because the energy that humanity's produced in the last 48 hours, they've had a bumper crop.
What's called this? This is season 4's trailer, preseason trailer.
Oh, it's a webisode. You know how
Yeah, like
sometimes-
a 2-minute webisode. This is
Yeah.
what's coming in season 4. What happened to season 3? Fuck you.
Shut up.
Exactly.
Don't
Shut
ask
up.
questions. Yeah, it looks like the writers still suck though. I think
Yes.
maybe it's my perception, but it's like, okay, you all suck. And it's just weird where China's going to take over. I've got like questions about, like, I'm wondering how long till Biden starts a war, when his approval rating comes out, where it's like, this is terrible because no one voted for it. So there's no enthusiasm. It's like, I want crippled grandpa to rule the country.
Don't say no one voted for them. Don't say that. Yes, the election was rigged, but they had to rig it because it was going to be such a close election, and Biden's rigging was just better than Trump's. Period.
But it was a close election anyway.
But who won? That's all that matters.
Oh yes, but who won? Where the
rigged? It doesn't matter, rigged or not. Who won?
Well, it kind of does in the perception of it, because there's a quarter of the country that believe that it was rigged. And how are they going to
listen?
We have to come together and heal. It's like, you've been kicking me in the balls every day for 4 years. How am I supposed to? Yeah, I'll forgive you.
Every election since the first Reagan has been rigged in this country. Period.
No,
every election has been rigged since Reagan.
No, you can go back to JFK, because it was rigged in Chicago, and that's how he got in. And then he turned his back on the mob, and that didn't end out well.
Yeah, but then there were free elections in between that. And it was Jimmy Carter was another free election. He got in when he wasn't supposed to get in. They allowed a natural thing to go on.
Oh, all right. Yeah, so, anyway.
And that was an attempt to give somewhat modicum of freedom. But every president since Reagan, elections have been rigged.
Yeah. But yeah, it just the comic lens helps. You don't have to live like you're in a sitcom, because that can backfire, believe me. However, it's just easier to realize, the world's a stage and the writer sucks.
Absolutely. We've got a fucking white sniffer in the office.
Yeah, who sniffs children at press conferences.
Yes. Versus a pussy grabber who was in office. Ha ha ha.
Yeah,
okay? We've gone from bombastic New Yorker to lame white guy
from Delaware,
right? Who's going to be there to make Pennsylvania, make everyone look normal.
Yeah, it's I'm just going to go to town, basically, where I think I'm going to say, like, because he's better than Trump, and just piss off people.
But again, it was a rigged election, and the better rigger won.
No,
That's
really.
the way I say it.
Well, everyone knows it, which I think is part of what the narrative, in the bigger picture of it, it's part of the awakening, because everyone's gone, wait, instead of like when Bush. Well, why did Bush Senior only get one term? Did they realize that Clinton would be better for the narrative?
Okay, so Bush Senior was the head of the CIA for many years and connected to the Iran-Contra scandal. And Bush Senior had some stuff that was going to come up that was going to ruin the CIA if he was in another year of office.
Oh, okay.
So there was an internal coup d'etat going to happen if they got him another year. And then they brought the criminal Clintons in.
Okay. Well, people have portrayed after Reagan was shot, George was basically controlled anyway.
He was in control before that.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, why did he only have one term? Well, he was in the job for 12 years.
Right.
So.
Okay. And, what's the difference between the Bush and Clinton faction? Nothing.
The amount of cocaine used.
Okay. Clinton took over, but it was still a Bushy. Okay. Democrats and Republicans were nothing. They needed to get Bush 1 out. That's why Bush 2 took over for 2 sessions. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah,
It was
it's-
to set up for the war environment. And then Clinton was the slick Willie speaker that could get laws passed that would have never passed the Democratic fly before. That's why it was Clinton that deregulated all the fucking banks, that created the disaster we have for 2008.
and the crime bill as well. Yeah,
All
like,
that, right.
Yeah, so basically,
Put all the black people in jail, Bill Clinton.
Yeah, because if it wasn't, if you take out Bill Clinton from everything he did, and you put in Bush, there was no way that they'll allow George Bush
to do that.
To do any
exactly.
of that. Like,
because of his CIA connections.
Yeah,
At least under Clinton, the CIA could do a lot more work under the ground.
Yeah, it's interesting. I rather Obama, and it's just years after years, it's just Obama's treachery and treasonous stuff's going. But it's the perception of, well, he's a handsome, slick gentleman, and he's polite. And then you have Trump, who's just bombastic and ego, and like as we've talked about, like really the New York billionaire from has an ego. Color me shocked.
Exactly, color me shocked. But just as we transferred from Bush 1 to the Clinton double terms, there's really no difference between switching from Trump to Biden now. The same wheels of government are going to be operating in the background.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Just being from the conspiracy world, I'll have to put on my armor and defend myself by pointing out that no, it's not. The four horsemen haven't turned up, and it's the apocalypse.
Yeah, it's the one pony that showed up.
Hello.
Yes, it's one trick pony.
Yeah. Because I'm sure, the conversations I have now, I'm sure I'll be talking about it in 9-10 months on the conspiracy world, and we're still here. Okay. And it's hopefully by the pattern recognition, I'll start to express it a bit better to people, where they'll go, well, hang on, we are talking about the same. And it's that whole kicking the can down the road.
Right. And the reason mainstream media jumped on Trump's speech, which was incitement, was so that they can try to kill the cult of Trump, that Trump is the savior demagoguery going on in the conspiracy world.
Yes. Yeah. That's going to be. So here's a question. What's going to happen to the mainstream media, the legacy media? Because are they going to just keep picking on Trump for the rest of the year? Because
no, Fox News is taking it in the asshole hard.
Yeah, because they were doing that
hard. Fox News is going to have to figure out how to save ratings.
Yeah, because the only reason that the legacy media is surviving was they were attacking Trump. Trump's gone because they were slowly declining anyway, because everyone can see the
right. Before example, during the 8 years of Obama, the news ratings had been reduced by like 40%.
Yeah.
Right. We know that. And yes, the ratings are going to drop, and they're going to do whatever they can do to save ratings, but know that they're going to have to thin the herd in the political talking heads.
All good. Because it's just, yeah. So will they turn on Biden, or will it just be
not for the first 6 months?
Oh, of course not. No, you have there'll have to be that transition. And yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially COVID's still here, so that some people, when COVID was released to get rid of Trump, yeah, that's why it was released. Yeah, it happened globally. I mean, mind you, Wuhan's doing quite well, so it's like that.
But we have Chinese New Year coming up very shortly, and we're going to see the next Chinese New Year scare come up, because they just found 200 new cases in Hubei province.
Oh, well, yeah, it's the lockdowns are kicking off here in Australia, and there's a new strain from the UK and everything. The thing about the UK is the UKing, the English and the Welsh and the Scottish, they're all locked down, but they've still got planes coming in from overseas.
In and out, exactly, without any contract tracing or requiring you to isolate.
Yep. Well, that's basically that's where it's 2020 showed how most institutions were corrupt and terrible, and where I think it was myself or someone I picked it up from somewhere, but the meme, 2021 said to 2020, hold my beer. we're only 7 days in.
Right. And 2021's going, I'm holding 2021's beer. No.
I actually tweeted, but no one really got. Donald Trump is the worst president in history. Joe Biden, hold my Horlicks.
Hold my bollocks, exactly.
So-
1 second, let me sniff you before you hold my bollocks.
Yeah. How old are you? Oh, you're too old. You're 12. So yeah, you're gonna have a wonderful 2-hour thing. So, but yeah, that I have noticed that energy shift. I don't know if it's the astrology or everything at the same time, as well as doing my own personal work. I really would like to wake up and not have a nap because I've woken up. Like the sleeping patterns are all weird, where it's like, oh, and I try and think of a question to sort of personal question, but I bring it out for everybody type thing. So there's a learning experience. Can you sort of now you do say this with love, and it's not a negative term. You call me a lazy time lord. Can you just expand on that?
You wait till the last second to fix your fucked up times.
I see. Yeah, 50.
But
50
you can do it all in 1 second, but you don't have to.
Yeah, yeah. I've been 57 years of Doctor Who, where it's like, oh, at the last moment he saves everyone. Like, yeah,
Yep. Well. Exactly. That's the lazy side. You could have done it hours ahead of time, got it all taken, and been on your chair in your TARDIS chilling out with a mimosa. Now you wait till the last second.
I like a perception, which could be wrong, but which perception is I'm a time agent or a time lord, and I sense my knowledge of working in time and all that type of high wizard type of thing in a past life, and so I've decided to just have a slow normal life as a human in this lifetime, and just slowing down and trying to instead of doing everything and flipping timelines and all that experience going down wormholes. It's like, when I'm in this waking body in the 3D, it's like, nope, let's slow down as possible. Like, let's drag every nanosecond out as long as possible. So it feels like that.
Let me sniff my environment.
Yes, that's going to change. Yeah, the president today went to the rose garden and sniffed the roses.
So there will be more than enough gaffes for us.
Oh, yeah.
There'll be more than enough gaffes. Orange Man bad for 4 years. White evil sniffers going to be coming forward, and whole bunches of new names. What I look forward to is the left-wing comedians have been operating for so long. We're going to get some true right-wing comedians now.
Yeah. Yeah. From a comedian's point of view, it's like, right, let's get to it. And from the it won't be sort of left or right, because you saw like 2/3 of the Republican Party sided with the Democrats because that perception of, oh, we have to get rid of Trump, or they were told to get rid of Trump. So
no, because they have election in 2 years.
Yeah, it's like, get rid of Trump so we look good, but you can just take pot shots now at everyone. And I'm going to have fun where if anyone starts bringing that, if they try and keep bringing up Trump, oh, this Trump did this, like, shut up. Yes, Orange Man bad. Have you seen what Biden's done?
I've seen it. Okay, the potentialities of what it is. Now there's somebody in the chat room saying on 1/9/20 something's going to happen. I'll bet you $1,500 nothing's going to happen. No arrests. Publicly stated.
Yeah,
you're chicken shit in the chat room. You're gonna post, but put up or shut the fuck up.
Yeah, because it's an inside job for as individually, and then we all do that. We all move forward. But the thing is, the general public aren't ready for it, spiritually or mentally or whatever it is.
All of the above. We're not ready for it. That's why they want to kick the can down the roads for 4 more years.
Now, here's a question for you. Because it's using the model, well, not model, but you know what I mean, where the owners of the planet who harvest the energy, they don't really want us to awaken, do they? Or if they do want to awake, but
no, they don't want us to awaken. Yeah, they don't. Right.
And so it's interesting. That's one thing about the energy shift, where it's like it's that spirit. It's instant gratification, but it's spiritual, where now I feel like, oh, I've got 40, 50 years and it doesn't really, because, you know, the whole thing, oh, there'll be a solar flash. We're going into 5D. All that's true. But from the perception of time, it could be 7 days if you do hardcore work, or it could be 80 years. Yeah, but
Or
you're
it
outside
could,
of time.
or it could be nothing of that is true.
Yeah.
And the reality of nothing happening is giving people the opportunity to go internally inside themselves to discover their own connection and not have to use the external hologram as definition of who they are.
Yeah.
Right
well,
now, the external hologram is demanding you give it more attention than your own internal.
Yeah, because I remember that, you know, the whole dates thing, this will happen, this happened. And after 17 of them, like, well, this is just silly. And there's the hints of just always going in to find, because you are the center of your universe and I'm the center of my universe. And the joy of creation is we can interact.
And share a reality that allows co-creation.
Yeah.
As long as one side isn't martyring or becoming a zealot and is allowing co-creation, that's the shared reality rules. And both sides can be true and have a little bit of competition for the challenge of competition itself. Not all competition is bad. No. Like the back and forth that Monty and I have here, it's friends jabbing each other. But those jabs aren't cutting wounds. Like maybe in the beginning I said, Monty, come on, come out of the closet, because I understand Monty's position and place in the conspiracy world, where he has his particular version of it, and I have my particular version of it. And I always allow him to have his way. It's just sometimes I'm good with my cutting words.
Yeah, it's the fun part of knowing the galactic historian.
Yeah, I cheat.
Like, well, what do you think? You know, if you talk to a normal friend, what do you think of this? I don't know. And then you have Andrew. Oh, I'll just check the Akashic Records that has everything. Like, so it's interesting where you send out little feelers of like, I had this feeling. What's Andrew going to say? What can I get? You know, it's like I'm doing fact-finding missions without Andrew knowing.
And I love it when you do that kind of stuff too. It's awesome. Because again, everything that potentially can come true, but everything that's potentially can come true can also not come true.
Yeah.
That's the two sides of the extremes that we're dealing with.
Yeah, Living Colour have a great, I think the song Type, which is from 1990. Everything is possible, but nothing is real.
Great way to put it.
Yeah, and I love how Bashar, not the leader of Syria, says life is meaningless until you give it meaning. And it's just quantum physics.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not observing something, it's not there. You saw that meme of the monkey that does the side thing, and it was right next to the slit experiment? That's the perfect example.
Yes.
How to explain quantum physics.
Hey, leave it to the meme world to do it.
Oh yeah. And there's a lot. You know, the guy, the half-naked guy with the bull horns yesterday in the thing, that someone shared a one where it's a photo of him standing in a hallway, and the actual text of the meme is, as the acid war had started to wear off, Jamiroquai realized that his live album launch may have gone a bit far.
I think the other one, somebody was doing the homework meme. Season 4, when Vikings invade the Congress.
Yeah, U.S. election season 5, Vikings meet the West Wing.
Yes.
So I like that, and it's interesting, like because I try to ignore. I observed the election, but I didn't invest in the election where like, oh, Trump made headway today, oh, he lost tomorrow, and you know, that whole sort of emotional roller coaster of it all. Mm-hmm. I'm thankful that I'm in this moment of now where I'm in a week, everything's changed. Mm-hmm. I feel better. As I said, I've got another screen now, and so it's like, wow. And
you got off the roller coaster. You're still at the park. You're still at the theme park. You're just not on that roller coaster.
I like that analogy because I'm looking at the ride going, gee, how's that still standing?
Exactly.
Where is the safety officer?
I'm going to go get us an icy snow cone and something to eat, and then I'm going to pick my next ride.
Yeah, maybe the Ferris wheel.
They're going to get on Sniffer Force 1.
Yeah. I did the ghost train 500 years ago. That was Christianity. I've
Yep.
been there. I don't need that one. I feel like wearing a teddy bear. I think I need a teddy
Yep,
bear.
you're gonna shoot skee ball or something and win a teddy bear. Okay.
But-
Then you're gonna go on the water park ride.
Yeah. So, is it still? Are we still in that chaotic energy, or is because the season 4 started? There's going to be. I mean, obviously anything could happen, but with at the last year with everything, and as well as the Trump election stuff, there was all that sort of crazy, like when you're just out of tune or radio where there's static.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of felt like that, but now because they finally picked Biden or Trump, will there be sort of stability frequency wise? Do you understand what I'm trying to?
Okay. So you're off of that ride, but you're still at the theme park, and a park announcement says buy one burger, get one free on the north end. And everyone starts ending to get the buy one, get one free MSM burger.
Yeah.
Or are you going to say, no, I'm going to get a snow cone, and when everyone over there is getting their buy one, get one free burger, I'm going to go on another ride with no line.
Yeah. and probably walk past the management office.
Right.
It's that whole Earth, Algartha, the owners, and I've got a question about them because it'll be interesting to see what you can pick up on. And because people are like, one way of saying is we've restarted the Matrix and we're getting rid of the virus, which is basically evil. And I'm like, I don't think the owners want that because how it's so big. We're going into 5D. Technically, yes, but that's a personal experience. And once again, the owners don't want that because the sheep are leaving the pen or the cattle. It's like when a cow breaks through the fence and runs off. That's not what farmers want.
No, not at all. Now, relating it back to the farmer, those are the apparatus of control, the various governments and military industrial complexes that run our world, the apparatus. And then there's the owners of the farm, which is a giant underground corporation that has a CFO, COO, and CEO. We're getting ready for the board members are going to assemble on the 20th. And with a vote of confidence or no confidence for those that really run the world.
Would that be because in the 3D timeline, you have the inauguration where Biden swears in and becomes president? That's a good time from their perspective. Like, okay, this is solidified for technically 4 years. We need to have a vote for no confidence of the
underground, the underworld management.
Yeah.
And if there is a change in underworld management, there will be a change in the top world apparatus of implementation of the control. Because what does the CEO do? What is his real job? Not just collect a golden parachute, which is what the lizards have been doing, harvesting and fucking, extorting and pilfering the bank accounts.
Yeah, they're supposed to run the company. It's CFO. It's Chief Executive Officer.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so. And then the CFO is Chief Financial Officer.
Yeah, and CEO is Chief of Operations.
Okay, so the operations guy is below the chief. The executive's the top of the pyramid.
Yeah,
who's supposed to, like, dare I say, the president who presides over everything.
Mm-hmm.
Financial guy is an accountant.
Mm-hmm. and runs risk management.
Yeah. And so where does the operation manager sort of like take orders from the executive goes, I would like this, and then the operations manager actually
implements it and works direct with apparatus-based managers.
Yep. Okay. So it's that thing because I don't see. I'm maybe you made that conclusion or that feeling of the whole light worker, new age, new cage doesn't fit into I've been saying this a lot. I got some laughs yesterday with the whole David Icke thing. We're ruled by psychopaths. in inner Earth, and we're run by idiots, which are
Yes.
the farmer.
Great way to
And-
put it. Right.
Yeah, and they keep proving that the idiot part. I'm like, what are
So
you doing?
if the vote of no confidence and the lizards go through, that means the idiots will be replaced with semi-competents.
Yeah, because from the owner,
They don't want fully competent in there. Semi-competent.
Oh no! You don't want the farmer to buy the farm,
Right.
metaphorically, of course.
Exactly.
So it'd be interesting. So how long have the reptilians been in charge of the collective that are the owners of the energy farm that is Earth? That's a long statement, but I like to waffle occasionally.
Around 35,000 years.
Yeah. So now, what's their perception of time? How can you? What's the?
They don't use our years.
Yeah.
Right.
But-
Hollow Earth has its own version of time.
Yeah. So how, from a human perspective, what's the correlation? What's the
35,000 human years. That's roughly how long the equivalent.
All
of
right,
how long they've been in office.
you were using our perspective of
Yeah,
time as okay. So a while.
That's when they took over the management of who were some gooder guys, but drove it into the ground.
Well, yeah, you just look at the last 12,000 years, and this is now, ladies and gentlemen watching. This is before we get into timeline wars and all that kind of crap.
Right.
This is what will happen now. I know we're guessing. We're making shit up. What if a new faction gets in and replaces the lizards? Now I know there'll be a knock-on effect that all the idiots will change, but
this is awesome. I love that you brought this up. If the vote of no, because each the CEO, CFO, and CEO each have individual votes of no confidence. If the CEO has a vote of no confidence, but the other two have votes of confidence, it's how much are the lizards going to steal between apparatus changes? What's their golden parachute? How much loose are they going to steal? How much DNA are they going to steal? And how much are they going to get in stock buybacks? Okay? And that will determine what the new CEO actually has to do. And are they going to tell the lizards give it back or not?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the next thing is the CFO. That's the key position. Let's say the CEO and the COO get votes of confidence, but the CFO doesn't. This means the lizard eskies and the tall whites and the other Orions and the other negatives that are part of that faction are going to have audits done on them.
Ooh.
That will go very far back, and the farmer's going, why am I missing 500,000 cows? And they're going to start auditing everything. That's the biggest fear among the negatives right now, is a tremendous energetic audit of all the missing Lucian, the missing DNA.
Is that similar to Audit the Fed in the 3D?
Yes, very much like Audit the Fed, yes.
Yeah, because I'm finding it fascinating where, as above, so below. It's not like exactly, it's not exactly the same. Like, history repeats. No, it rhymes. And that's part of the loop to keep us in. But like you had the way you say, Trump's been removed and put in Biden. And so if the CEO is removed, there's that 2-week window of, well, what's he going to do? But
Right.
they're smartly, they've waited till when Biden gets in, when he's sworn in.
The
Then they can do it.
day that his hand is on that Bible and the dark rituals go is when they're voting. But remember I said the lizards are waiting because they're going to assassinate as many board members before they get to the meeting as they can.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Why is it taking so long? Because is someone opening bottles?
I'm not sure what that is.
I don't know. Someone's drinking a lot of wine. It just sounds
That's
like
that's the Zoom support chat. I'm in a chat and I didn't realize that was doing that. Sorry, guys.
that's all right. It's like, well, someone's having a Chardonnay. Yeah, or you're playing a weird energy ping pong.
Right. So they're waiting to the 20th, and as the board members, because there are many board members who may don't want to vote, and that's what keeps the lizards in power a lot.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It sounds exactly like not Star Wars, but there's that that sci-fi element where it's we've got all this technology, but they're still doing it like it's 1538 in the royal court in England, where it's like, because that's one thing I've noticed with now I know they're TV shows and they're probably wrong, but Victoria and the Crown, the Queen doesn't really run everything. They're a figurehead, and they actually have to survive and get what they want. They have to fight the tradition and the idea of the crown, not the person who's wearing the crown. Now, 400 years ago, the king could probably just kill everybody because he's the king.
Right. But that was the power that was taken away. And then the exchequers took office. Yeah. And once the exchequers took office, that allowed the queen to no longer have to be the COO.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna after the 20th, we'll have a lovely conversation to see what's the memo that comes out from Elgartha. Everything's fine.
Yeah. So the other thing is that we didn't talk about the COO. So let's say the CEO and the CFO get votes of confidence, but the COO gets a vote of no confidence. That means the military-industrial complex and the management that runs that will go through disasters of disasters. Yeah. And that would mean major stock market issues.
Yeah.
That means they have to fix the actual infrastructure system that's there. And the management that runs it.
Yeah, the Great Reset, which is certain factions are putting, the IMF are putting forward, which could, because the economy is completely disastrous.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the lizards, or is it a different faction, or what are we seeing on the 3D? Is it basically the lizards are running everything and all the other factions are just waiting to see if they suck or not?
Metaphorically, the lizards are the CEO, CFO, COO, and have been that way for 26,000 years.
Okay.
Or 30-something thousand years.
Yeah.
Okay. They needed to do that because the Atlanteans ran it into the ground.
Yeah, the fall of Atlantis. It's their own fault.
Right, their own fault, exactly. Now, if the COO gets a vote of no confidence, it's who's going to take his place. Okay, because that will determine so much about political oligarchs that have been in place. Those will be removed. Those will have to be fixed and removed.
Yeah. Well, what are the other factions? Like, there's the Orions. Is there any Dark Palladians or?
There's Palladians, Octurians. There's 10,000 races that are a part of the faction that's runs the farm.
Yeah, and so they're not Sith, but they've chosen to be a Dark Force user.
But they're good guys too. They're equally good and bad.
Oh,
It's just the lizards and those that follow that similar ideology have bigger guns and in more volume.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a fascinating time because it's a power vacuum in a certain way, and so if all three are removed,
then the Great Awakening happens.
Oh, okay.
And Trump was the savior, and David Icke was right, and everyone, all the conspiracy guys were right from day one.
Yeah. Okay? I can see that as a potentiality, but I don't want to create. I don't want to create a timeline from the ground up. It's like,
lazy time lord. I don't want to create no timelines from the ground up.
No, that's what we just said. That's from the very beginning time. Like, there's the graduation timeline already. It's like or rather a prefab. There's something already existing where let's work with this. Not actually go back to before the Big Bang prime creator level starter timelines. Like, we've tried this thousands of times. You sure we want to do this again?
Well, it wouldn't be that. So here's an example. If the COO gets removed and you replace them with a semi-good guy, somebody that the lizards will like, but they still have a realization that you have to have hardcore enforcement of the reality rules. It can't be a pussy. It can't be a fucking Antifa pussy.
Yeah.
Okay? It can't be a fucking liberal fucking identity crisis person. Okay? And the CEO can't be that. Otherwise, the reality will break down.
is it possible for humanity to be free on the planet Earth and still the farm generates? Or does the farm need to have an element of control for the harvesting of our energy?
Well, it's the CEO that determines how aggressive they harvest.
Yeah.
And how much product they want to pull out of the farm, then tells the CEO how to implement it and gives the structure for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's already a harvest schedule that's been created hundreds of years in advance. That's this prediction model that they've got going.
Yeah.
Let's say if the COO gets replaced with a semi-good guy, semi-bad guy, what we'll see is radical changes in the power factions that are out there. Like the Saudis and oil won't have the power that they had before. The Russian oligarchs will get broken down. Criminal organizations will be replaced by new criminal organizations.
Yeah, because they don't. There's like people describe Rothschild and Rockefeller. At least the Rothschilds will give you a blanket when you're in jail. And I think it would just, because there's been so much chaos, there'll be a better way of dialing that back down. And you can have a system that's just humming along and we slowly inch towards enlightenment compared to trying to, because it seems to be very complete freedom or complete destruction. That's sort of the perception that's coming out.
But there's in between, and this is where the COO can begin to create factions that allow an in-between process. Some of the cows are allowed to leave the farm or given citizenship, and they're not cows no more.
Well, so like not now, if we refers to milking cows, not the steak cows or the meat cows.
Yeah.
Eventually, dairy cows are retired and they go into the back paddock and live their life. So there's a gold watch plan for spirituality on the. See, that's okay.
Those have done the work. The COO goes, "Here's your gold watch. You've been a great cow. Okay, here you go." The rest of the cows aren't ready. You may love them. Here's a leather jacket.
Yeah, you've just been released from prison. Here's your 6D bus pass. The Galactic portal's just to your right. If you want to go to something new. Thanks for being. Don't tell anyone you were here.
Exactly. Here's your non-disclosure agreement.
Well, what's the 6D? Shut up. It's a joke.
Shut up. Exactly. And here's your bank account, Alush.
Yeah, because and the planet agreed to this, ladies and gentlemen. Got to remember.
Yes, it did. Absolutely, 100%.
Or
I want to touch on one little other thing. So I've talked about the lizards and the parachute package and this whole Enron situation getting set up. When I look at the potentiality of the no confidence vote, it really looks like the CEO is going to get the no confidence, but the CFO and the CEO are going to get the vote of confidence. So the lizards will still remain in faction, but the way the CEO's management is done from the top down will change. Now, this isn't guaranteed yet. This is just my internal looking at the potentialities of what's going to happen. And if the CEO does get the no confidence vote, it's how much can he rip off between the next guy taking over. And if that does happen, massive ripoff, there's still a huge chance for the awakening to happen.
Yeah, because that what's the technical fuck up the plans? Because I can see like the lizards will probably want either everyone stays, which kind of works, or it kicks the can down. Like, let's just go another level. That kicks the can down the road of like, well, our system seems to be working. But if they get, if there's a sacrifice of like the leader sucks, get rid of him, but the operations manager and the financial manager are still in place. So the total corruption that is been going on isn't exposed. Right. Then you get someone new in. There's a change, but if the outgoing CEO is a greedy prick,
takes a bunch of cows with him.
Yeah, and fucks it up. It triggers an awakening because the cows go, wait a minute, that farmer's I'm greater than that fucking farmer.
Exactly. Or the CEO before he leaves he opens the gates to the back paddocks and the cows run free.
Well, yeah. Like so, the lizard becomes a 5-year-old having a tantrum. Well, if I can't run, no one gets the fucking planet. Yeah,
exactly. Let the cows and chickens mix.
Yes, let's go to the Satanists and say, yeah, here's a ritual that actually unleashes all the light on this planet. Because I could see evil being so evil they'll fuck it up so good wins.
Yes. Now somebody is saying it seems like everything they do triggers awakening. It does, because they fucked it up for so long. Now, what would kicking the can down the road so the awakening doesn't happen for another 4 years and another 4 years and another 4 years is more than likely what's going to happen. Okay. And like at the beginning of the show, I said it's not going to be until late 2023 that lockdown goes away. Get ready for that. And I will put money on it, stated publicly, that well into 2023, we will still be on a form of COVID lockdown.
Now, if I may, just to be a nitpick a bit, that it's not global. It's not global lockdown. Everyone's on tier 4. It will ebb and flow, like here in Victoria. Yeah,
ebb and flow.
Yeah, I mean, our version of lockdown now is before all the crap from outside the state. You still have to have a mask, and we're waiting for the vaccine, which that seems to be fucking up all the way through as well. Here's someone having a vaccine. Oh, they've passed out. Come back tomorrow. So globally, is the lockdown stops and we're free of COVID, or is it we've created a new normal at the end of 23?
A new normal at the end of 2023.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so important. What is the CEO, CFO, COO positions for the next 3 years?
Yeah. Because it'll be awesome if we get a less evil new CEO and he accidentally releases technology that can cure people. Oops.
It wouldn't be an accident.
Well, no, because the
oops, did I do that?
Because isn't COVID that it seems to be? It's a time. How do you? It's a karma-based time resolution virus. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's here. Is that a Prime Creator act that it's here? Because I've jokingly said
it's a natural retribution from all the negative time travel that's been done.
Yeah.
It's avoided the karmic debt. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's sort of an Earth-based Prime Creator a result of balancing it out. Because could that potential of the virus it forces people to, because I think you mentioned at the start of last year, there is a potential of how they people deal with it. The idiots running the place, they could release secret technology which would be a crack in the dam. So I'm wondering if the virus will go, this planet's boring. I want to leave now. Nudge. Oh, here's something. Here's a sound device that cures cancer as well as COVID. Bam.
That has all in potential. Yeah. Will it happen? Well, the CEO, CFO, and COO have to determine if that's going to get through. If it accidentally gets through, it's because somebody at the board members kind of pissed and said, let's see if we can get it through.
Yeah, so the board has control that level of, like, the virus can't go rogue in that respect. Like anything that happens with the virus, it needs to have to be signed off.
Yes. See, the other thing with the virus, it's beginning to affect off-world species. So that means there is going to be a tremendous slowing of the black market DNA trade.
Well, that's bad for business.
Bad for business. Okay.
This product's tainted. Fuck that.
Right. Okay. And that's a karmic retribution virus.
Oh,
meaning the CFO is going to have a real challenge at quality control here.
Yeah, and the rest of the galaxy is like, I'm not touching that motherfucker. I've done shit, and I don't.
Right. And the CEOs, but they've been vaccinated. A 9-month vaccine. I don't know if I want to trust that.
Yeah, it's so weird where the evil overlords of Elgartha, and you just think like Conan Barbarian, and they're 8 feet, 20 feet tall, and they've got spikes all over their armor, and you just like, it's being vaccinated, and it's a skinny white dude wearing a white shirt, and it's like middle management. Hello, would you like some loosh?
Exactly. All right, Monty, let's save some of this for the comedy show tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we've got we've got all the other stuff. So yeah.
But this was a lot of fun. All right, everybody that's still listening, we will be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time for our incredible comical show. All right, Monty, why don't you give a way for people to get a hold of you?
I am on YouTube at Wafer Thin Entertainment, on Twitter at the moment at Real Monty Dean, and on Instagram at Monty.Dean, where I meme up a storm. And the memes are coming and flowing, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen.
He is
meme a lot. Meme lips is happening.
He's Sir Meme a lot.
Yes, I'm a memeologist.
A memeologist. All right, everybody, you know who I am. You go to my website, andrewbartzis.com. All right, everybody, take it easy and have a great day, and we'll see you for tomorrow's comedy show.
Each different bubble of reality is true. A galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma. Nudge, nudge. It's the Holy Grail. Improvise. Mysterious. It's counter psychic intelligence. Why is DNA farming of this star cluster so important? Because we do manifest our reality. We do create our reality.
Hello, let's create, let's co-create, and let's change this world with love. No matter if you're from Alpha Centauri or Earth, we all began with the same birthing process. We live in a limited point of view. Living the mystical life daily is about striving for the unlimited point of view. Each day, each human being gets an infinite amount of choices. Living the mystical life daily is about facing obstacles and challenges. The level of awareness that you are working at means you have a responsibility to be equal with it. How does one truly let go of expectation? You can make the moment that you wake up to the moment you go to sleep sacred. The keys to success: choice, 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 and choice.